About 3 minutes has passed since I wrapped up last week's vlog, but we're back at it. It's Monday. We're back into kind of a regular routine. I think my whole family is recovering after the super busy, but fun, very fun weekend that we had. So I'm excited to bring it down a couple notches, at least for the next couple days. And then, you know, it's that time of year where just lots of things going on, time's moving pretty quickly, and you gotta make sure that you're kind of making those pockets of time to relax and just give yourself whatever space you can, you know, whatever space you can. Don't compare it to anybody else. Just make sure that you are taking care of yourself as best as you possibly can, because it's also like the worst time of year to get sick. Again, there's things to do. There's people to see. There's stuff you want to do, hopefully. The things you want to do, you know. If you don't want to do things, you don't have to. You're an adult, probably, if you're watching this. Hopefully you catch my drift. But yes, it is Monday. And that's really about it. It's Monday. I am waiting. I'm kind of just hanging out, eating breakfast, doing a few things, because I'm just waiting for the grocery store to open, because we need some food. So I'm gonna go to Aldi today and see what I can find this morning. But in the meantime, I thought I would show you what I think I'm going to be reading this week. I did decide to go ahead and pick up Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. This was on my like will she won't she, my December hopefuls list of books, but I just kept hearing about it and I'm staring at it. I'm like, no, I do want to start it. We'll see if I can finish it in December. She's thick, you know, she's thick. But what's so funny is I was finishing up Legendborn and kind of wrapping it up, and I was looking at the back of the book, and there is like a little blurb on the back that says like perfect for fans of Cassandra Clare. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. I have never read any of Cassandra Clare's books. I know this is her adult debut, so I believe she has a lot. I think she definitely wrote like a well-loved like YA series, didn't she? That the name is escaping me right now, right? Isn't that true? Is there something in here? Hold on. No, that's about the type, not about the author. Oh yeah, the Shadowhunter Chronicles. Yeah, so that is something I have not read, but I know a lot of people like it because they also turned it into like television or movies or something. Oh wow. Okay, as both. So yeah. Maybe one of these days I'll have to check that out. But I have heard a lot of good things about Shadowhunter, and I was just sitting there being like, I don't know what to do with myself now, because I just finished this epic tale. Let me pick up hopefully another one, like just another solid fantasy read. But this is also the week I think I'm finally going to dive into all of my festive, seasonal, fun reads. Though I think I'm going to do this will be my first separate reading vlog just about these. I'm really focused on my Christmas reads. So I have the Christmas Orphans Club by Becca Freeman. I have A December to Remember by Jenny Bayless. And then on my really, really old Kindle, she still works, so we still love her, I'm gonna do The Holiday Switch by Tiff Marcello. And then I also have Love in Winter Wonderland by Abiola Bello on audio. Since I'm wrapping up today, I'm finishing it today, The House Switch on audiobook, which I really enjoyed and will continue, which I told you at the end of last week. So I'm going to see how many of these I can get through. I'm honestly going to challenge myself to see how many of these I can get through between today and next Sunday, which will also be kind of cute, I think, on the weekend, because it'll just be my husband and I this weekend coming up, because the kiddo, by the time you see this, she'll already be home. But she's going to go spend a couple days with her grandparents, different set of grandparents than the last time she had a sleepover. Well, she's a lucky kiddo. Yeah, so we'll have a little bit of like extra downtime so I can really do like some solid reading sprints on the weekend, which I'm thinking about where I am in my cycle now and where I will be by the time the weekend comes, and that already just sounds so good because I'm past ovulation for this cycle. A little cycle syncing speak, we like to include that. So I'm in the second half of my cycle, and I'm at the point where it was so perfectly timed to have all of those social outside of the house events and things to do this past weekend, because I had the energy to do it. I had the drive and the desire to do it. But by the time next weekend rolls around, I don't think I'm going to feel exactly the same way. And we do have one thing planned, my husband and I, which I think I'm just going to spend all weekend gearing myself up to do, which will be fun. We get to wear pajamas, so that in itself, makes it a lot better. Now I'm gonna go finish my breakfast burrito. I'm gonna get my coffee in a to-go mug whose lid works. We have one of those Ember mugs, which was gifted to us, which is amazing, and I love how hot it keeps my coffee. I'm one of those people that I would just prefer it stayed hot unless I specifically asked for it iced. But something happened with the little clicky lid, and I just haven't gotten around to ordering a new one. I need to do that though. So for this mission to the grocery store, I will most likely. I'm watching a squirrel do something shady out our window. What does he have? I would show you, but I'd be afraid he'd run away. And I kind of want to see what he's doing because it looks suspicious. Anyway, I'm gonna get my coffee, finish my breakfast, and I'm gonna run to the store so that way we can have some snacks and things to make our meals for at least the next couple of days. Did I put on a red sweater today simply to film the intro to my festive reading vlog? Absolutely. Did that also inspire me to then put on fuzzy reindeer socks and these super cute little, hopefully you can see it, little Debbie Christmas cake inspired earrings? Thank you TikTok algorithm for these. Because they are bringing me a lot of joy, as you can see. I mean, come on. So let's just say even thinking about starting to get into some of my festive reads has gotten me more into the holiday spirit. That would be an accurate statement. I've only listened to maybe 10 minutes of Love in Winter Wonderland just as I was driving home from the grocery store this morning, and already I'm just that book is about young people, much younger than me. I think they're in high school or college as they call it in the UK. I didn't know that. But they're already talking about it's already the whole thing. I'm only on the second chapter, but it just sounds already. I guess it's 17 days till Christmas when the book starts, and they're already talking about their favorite Christmas songs, and it's just all right, I'm ready. I'm ready. Also, I realized I didn't turn down that music. Hopefully it's okay. But anyway, I'm gonna get to filming some of that, and then I'm gonna make some lunch, and I think I'm gonna read a little bit more Swordcatcher, get a little bit further into it while I have my lunch, and then I'll have my evening time to dig into one of the other books. Yeah, I'm just gonna have 3 books going today by the end of today. That's all right? I'm pretty sure there's a whole series on a social media platform where it's hot people read 3 books at once, and then you're supposed to show all of them. So maybe I have to go make one of those now. Anyway, gonna get some work done, gonna film, and then I still have to check on my real job. Remote, flexible, you just gotta stay on top of things, but it's great. Food, reading, and then just see what else we get into before it's time to go pick up the kid from school, and then see what we get into after that. I've got to figure out a different way to like link these little talking bits in these vlogs, don't I? Anyway, it is Tuesday. It is already the afternoon on Tuesday. Usually I try to check in the morning, but the day has just gotten away from me. So I'm finally sitting down to have some lunch, and I just wanted to say hello. I did read a little bit more of Swordcatcher yesterday, I think while I was eating lunch, or maybe before I picked my kid up from school. I don't remember. I had like a few minutes, so I just sat down, and I think I got another 15 pages in or so. I don't know what it is, but I'm already very intrigued. There's focus on this one character named Kel. I believe that's his name. I'll correct myself later if I'm wrong. He just kind of gets like scooped up out of the world that he knows and thrown in this other world. And it's just like, okay, like we're in it with him now. But it's kind of cute because he's already in a situation where he's like holding his own and surprising the grown-ups around him because he's a child at this point. You can already tell there's like political intrigue that's gonna occur in the story because they're already hinting at it. I'm being very vague. I try to be vague when I talk about books, like so that you kind of get a feel for what's going on, but I don't want to give away any information. But 30 or so pages in, I'm looking forward to continuing to read. I was looking through yesterday just to kind of see where I was, and I was like, I think I'm still in like I'm not even in chapter 1 technically yet. So that's interesting. It's a little different from some of my other reads lately where these chapters feel a bit longer. So we'll see how I do with that. But last night I did start my festive reading marathon, and I have been listening to Love in Winter Wonderland, and I started The Holiday Switch yesterday as well. I'm not going to talk about it that much here because I'm going to do a whole festive reading vlog that you'll be able to see very soon, or it'll already be up depending on when you watch this. But yeah, that made me happy, and I think I'm already like 25% into the book. I mean, none of these are long reads, so that shouldn't really surprise me too much. But yeah, so now I'm going to eat my lunch. I'm going to put my head down and keep getting my work done today. My to-do list keeps getting longer, but that's just how it goes, isn't it? Good morning. It's Wednesday already. Yesterday was just, I was at my desk the whole day up until the point where it was time to make dinner. And on Tuesdays, most Tuesdays, my brother-in-law and one of our oldest friends from living here post-college, they come over for dinner. I was going to say it's a long story, but I might as well tell you the story in case you don't know. Many years ago, said old friend and I and some other people attempted to start a band. That was short-lived because part of it was when we were going to have practice, we would all like kind of cook dinner together, and then it turned into me mostly cooking dinner because I wanted to, and I wanted to try new crazy things, and some of the other people like moved away and stopped coming. So then it was still this like core group of 3 of us that still hung out like just every Tuesday. And then Rob came into the picture, and then his brother-in-law moved to the area, so he came into the picture, and then one of the other original members left. And even though we no longer do anything musical related, we still hang out most Tuesdays and have dinner together, which is just a nice tradition. We got as far as deciding that we were going to be an Ace of Base cover band. You heard that right. And I still have dreams that I could still be in an Ace of Base cover band someday, where we would just be the opener for other cover bands, since we'd only play like 4 to 5 songs. But yes, I was the singer in this, and if you ever karaoke with me, I will sing an Ace of Base song. They're usually my go-tos. So I was talking to a friend the other day, and the other one that's super fun to do is Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen. Anyway, that's just completely out of nowhere. But I didn't read anything yesterday, which is so sad, but it's honest. But I did get a lot of editing done and other work done, you know, got all the to-dos, got everything up to date for my day job. And I got my weekly vlog up, which at this point, I'm 3 weeks in, I'm working on the 4th. Like, my husband asked very nicely, kind of, I think when I was in week 2, he was like, well, what's your goal with this? And I was like, I would really like to do this for a year. I want to give growing a YouTube channel that's centered around books, but also the other things that I love. I want to give it a solid year and just see what happens. So, feels good. But I just wrapped up my November reading wrap-up, which I'm getting ready to post right now because it's already December 6th. And I filmed it, so I want to use that content. So we're going to get that up on the YouTube. And I just was smiling to myself because I made a nice little YouTube like cover image, because occasionally I will watch things because I like to learn and know these things, like, you know, what things that can help as you're starting to grow a YouTube channel. And one of them is making sure that like your cover art is pretty decent, because that's what somebody's going to see and they might want to click on it based on that. And I, you know, downloaded it from Canva and it popped up and I was like, huh, that actually turned out pretty cute. So if you want to see that, you can go back and check out my November reading wrap-up if you haven't already watched it, because that will definitely be posted before this vlog is, because this won't get posted until next week. But with that being said, I did listen to a little bit more of one of my festive Christmas books this morning, which I'm really enjoying. I'm definitely not the target market for this book. This book is set, it's high school students, teenagers, but I'm really finding it very sweet and entertaining nonetheless. And, you know, it's nice to be just, how am I say? I don't know. I'm finding it refreshing. That's what it is. And we haven't even like gotten that close to Christmas yet, like in the story, but I'm looking forward to the heartwarmingness that I can just feel is coming as we get further into this book. My goal is to read a little bit more of Swordcatcher today. I think just like a little bit every day, and we will chug along through this very big book. But yeah, I would like to read a little bit more today, maybe make it to the actual first chapter. That's a good goal. And then hopefully tonight it will just be cozy, either listening to one of my festive reads or continuing with the holiday switch, which is also teenagers. They're closer to college, or one of them is in college, the two like kind of main characters. But that's okay too. Again, it's refreshing. Yeah. Just trying to think if there's anything else fun I can tell you, but I think that's about it. I'm gonna finish my coffee. I'm gonna pop out the treadmill, and then hopefully that warms me up enough to the point where I think, okay, fine, I'll go get on the tonal and do something muscle related. We'll see what happens. Was getting out the door this morning to get to school like pulling teeth this morning? Yes. Did it also mean that because I had to drive us a little closer to school before walking her in to speed up the process, I mean, I had my car and I could just zip around the corner and go to the grocery store so that I could make some meals that I was really excited about today. It did also mean that. So, what do we call that? Like saving grace? Silver lining. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, silver lining. So, made myself a hearty breakfast. I'm very much in my luteal phase. Also, probably why this morning just felt so tough. Because I just don't have all the patience that I might have in other phases. But I have gotten a decent amount of sleep the past 2 nights. So that is, I know that is helping, even though things just feel extra hard right now. But yeah, protein, lots of protein. And then these, I love these little, I think they're called swapples. They're made out of mostly yucca root. It's an everything one. So I've got my fiber and my protein and a little bit of fat from some organic cream cheese on my waffle. And I'm very excited to tuck into this. And yes, I've been watching a lot of UK YouTube. I'm even like one of the holiday books I'm listening to right now. It's set in London. And the voice in my head is starting to have a British accent. I will not attempt to do it. That would not be good, but hence why I think I just said tuck in. Yeah, and then we're gonna make, I saw this recipe for a honey mustard focused like pasta salad with chicken and peas and a few other accoutrements, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna be my new like food fixation. Honey mustard is one of my most favorite things in the whole world, so I will show you that process later today when I make it for lunch, and I'll include the link to the original recipe as well. And yeah, I am up to about, I'm 100 pages in to Swordcatcher at this point. And I had seen somebody talking about it on TikTok and they were like, wow, 100 pages of just world building and no action, but they weren't upset about it. And I was just like, reading it, I got to 100 and like something just happened. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on my burner back here. I'm making some chocolate peppermint simple syrup. Yeah, I know. So that I can make some festive coffee that will also lift my spirits. But yeah, like right at page 100, I think the chapter changes, and like on the last half a page, something like adventurous happens. So I think we're at the point where more of the action starts to take place. But I honestly didn't realize that there wasn't a lot of action going on up until that point. Just the story was compelling enough for me to just be like, okay, well, I'm interested in learning about all of these people in Castellane. I think that's how you pronounce the name of this kingdom. I don't call it a kingdom. I think it's really just like a big city, but it has a monarchy, a king, a queen, and a prince. So this little kingdom of Castellane. Yeah, so I am enjoying it so far. It was hard for me to put it down yesterday, knowing that I needed to go do other things, and I'm also trying to read other books for my festive reading vlog. We're still getting used to that. But yeah, 100 pages in, I think I'm about 1/6 of the way done, and eager to read more. So with that, now that I've shared all of that with you, I know I have some things I'm going to share with you later today, and if I read any more Swordcatcher, I will be sure to give you an update. Now I'm going to go stir my simple syrup. I'm going to eat my breakfast and give my body all the macronutrients and calories she needs to feel good today. Friday. Just trying to get as many things out of my inbox and off of my to-do list this morning because it's Friday and I just want to get it done so then I can say it's the weekend. I did finish one of my holiday reads last night. I finished Love in Winter Wonderland, but I will share more of my thoughts about that over on my festive reading vlog, which will be up shortly after I post this weekly vlog. I'm hoping to put this one up on a Tuesday. That's when this one's supposed to get posted. And then that one should get posted the following Thursday. That's kind of the cadence I'm going for with this. But I'm fully in my late luteal phase. The past couple of mornings have not been fun trying to get the kiddo to school. This is, again, one of those times where I forget just how connected she and I are, where it's just my mood, my emotions, and this is probably the same for most parents, mothers in particular, maternal beings, just how much your energy influences those around you. I don't know what it is, but it's been really difficult. Yeah, so I'm doing my best to just have some grace, and of course, doing the thing where I explain to her that I'm just really frustrated with the situation right now. It is the situation that's really bothering me, and hopefully that we can improve the situation in the future. We're allowed to have feelings. Teaching the difference, of having your feelings and emoting your feelings without necessarily attacking other people. It's a work in progress. Parenting is a work in progress, and it teaches you so much about yourself. And it's also one of those things where I really do appreciate having cyclical awareness, because I know I'm just in the phase of my cycle where things can feel a little harder. My emotions are on a shorter tripwire, all the things. So in that vein, we're trying to do the things to nourish and take care. So I feel like I've been eating very well these past couple of days, really getting, those nutrients in there to help support my progesterone and my blood sugar so that I don't get hangry. And I've been sleeping rather well, which I appreciate. That doesn't always happen to me right before my period is going to arrive, but I have. I wish I'm doing the thing that I said that I needed to do, and that is I just need to get into bed earlier. Are my habits once I'm in bed perfect? No, but they are better. They are better. And so I really do think that trick helps, because I have been trying to turn out, I've been settling down for the night earlier, and that has helped my ability to fall asleep, and it seems to be helping my ability to sleep more soundly, which I appreciate. So now I just think I need to bump it up a little earlier, because I'm still sleeping well until the time that my own kid needs to wake up. And even then I'm still tired and don't really want to get out of bed, which could just be because it's not sunny outside yet. It's still dark. It's dark a lot here. Yeah, so that's how I'm doing today. As you can see, I'm trying to glimmer myself, trying to give myself a little bit of joy. So I was able to restock on the caramel stroop waffles, and I have my coffee that is well heated thanks to my Ember mug. I don't know any other Ember mug users out there. I'm curious, what temperature do you like your coffee at? I usually just set mine at 140. I don't know if that's hot. My husband would say that was hot. I like my coffee. If I'm going to drink it hot, I want it to be hot. And if I'm going to drink it iced, I want it to be iced. I don't really like the medium. And I want it to be hot the whole time that I want to sip it, because I like to linger over my coffee. Yeah, so I haven't read any more of Swordcatcher yet, but we're about to have a kind of parental staycation weekend. So I imagine I'll be able to get a lot of reading done when it's just me and Rob for a few days while the kiddo goes and has a nice adventure with her grandparents for a little bit. Yeah, but tonight, before she goes on her adventure, we're going to have a family fun adventure tonight in our little town, because there's what we call the Kris Kringle processional. Can't call it a parade. Somebody will correct you, but that's what it is. It's this little town parade. I believe it is kind of based off of a German tradition, because there's no like red suited Santa Claus. There's a Kris Kringle. Like I said, I believe it is a German based tradition, because some of our cities, our two sister cities, are both cities in Germany, and this is a long-standing community tradition. But this will be the first time that I have had any sort of involvement in it, and that involvement is dropping my kid off so she can walk with her Girl Scout troop, and then the rest of us will just stand and wave and cheer and try to catch her eye so she sees us watching her. You know, try to stay warm. It's a December evening, so it's chilly. And it's a drawn out process. Like, from the time I have to drop her off to the time the parade actually starts is like 45 minutes. And then they actually have to do the walk. Anyway, usually in the past, the kiddo has not, either we haven't been interested or she's been on like a date with grandparents doing something else on the evening of this. So Rob and I will go somewhere inside and just kind of like stake a claim by a window. So then we can have a little sip and we can watch it from inside. So gonna have to bring out those layers like I did when we went to Hershey Park on a cold winter's day. And hopefully I can convince my kid to wear enough clothes. That will be fun later. So I will do my best to share some scenes of that very cute tradition. It is super cute, like, don't get me wrong. And the kids who walk in it love it. You know, who wouldn't? You're the center of attention. Everyone's cheering and waving at you, and she gets to do it with her friends from Girl Scouts. So I know she's really excited. So even though I have my, parental trepidations, I am very happy for her, and I'm excited to help support her in that endeavor. But in the meantime, I'm gonna sit here and have my, like, what I call it, like, I'm gonna glimmer myself, where I'm gonna have my hot coffee and my little sweet something, and then I'm gonna finish up work. I know I have a couple meetings in a little bit, so I should maybe brush my hair, maybe put on a sweatshirt. I don't know. I'm not sure if the more professional of the two is a video call or not. I kind of hope it's not. It might just be a phone call. But no, because he probably needs to show us things. Anyway, I need to go double check on that. So I hope you're having a great Friday or whatever day that you're watching this. And yeah, I'll check in with you soon. It's only 4:30, but it feels like it should be way later in the day. Like we were talking about just a little while ago. Like, we've had a very full Saturday, and it's not even over yet, but we feel like we've lived multiple days just in this one day. We met up with my in-laws this morning, so the kiddo's off on her fun adventure with them. We came back, we hung out with my parents for a little bit, had to have a little good old family just chat session. Then we walked into the little historic downtown that we live just north of to pick up a few things, do a little Christmas shopping. Of course, we went to the bookstore. And yeah, I actually managed to do a very adult thing, and I need to have some work done on my engagement ring. I've had this thing for more than a decade now, but I accidentally bent it kind of a long time ago, and I finally was like, you know what, today's the day that I need to go in and ask them how much it would be to repair it. And it was kind of pricey, but they also reminded me that, that's why you have insurance on things like that. So we're gonna go that route, see if it'll help me at all, and if not, at least I tried. But who knows, maybe even if they will help me, my insurance that I have on this thing will help. That would be good. That would be great. So, more adulting about that, but I feel good about even like taking that step, All right. So I said I would show you what I got at the bookstore today. Outside of holiday books, which we've talked about, I don't buy a ton of just like kind of contemporary romance. However, if I was ever going to buy one, a book called Raiders of the Lost Heart was going to be it. I love Harrison Ford. I love Indiana Jones. You know, that's just, I have a type, and Indiana Jones, like, he's up there. I know he's a fictional character, but anyway, I don't know how this one came across my TikTok, but just in my browsing, I saw this and I was like, I need to read this. And what is it? So, The Ultimate Enemies to Lovers Adventure Rom-Com, says Allie Hazelwood, which from what I understand, she's a very popular author. I've never read any of her books, but yes, it's about rival archaeologists, and there's adventure and there's romance, and the little blurb on here says, your tent or mine. I was like, you know, I have some hard-hitting, heavy fantasies, like, on the horizons in this, you know, next season coming up that I would like to read on my TBR. Like, this feels like a good palate cleanser to have on hand. The next thing, and I was just so thrilled to see it on the shelf, like, complete, that I was like, yeah, you're coming home with me, is, hold on, I'm doing this without my tripod or anything, but it's We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faizal. This is her original duology that I have only heard really wonderful things about. It's a fantasy, YA fantasy duology, and I already have her newest book, A Tempest for Tea, on pre-order. It's coming out later in 2024, but I really want to read these before I get that one. So I was able to snag these today. And then I'm just trying to pick up a few more like wintry books that are not Christmas at all. And I kept seeing Darkwater Daughter by H.M. Long come up, and I was like, pirates, winter, like, this sounds good. Like, I'm gonna go for this. And that's really all I can tell you, is that there's winter scenes, there's a winter feel to this, and you know, they're on the high seas, but that sounds like a fun time to me. Then I think this is the last book I got. Yes, the last book I got was A Broken Blade by Melissa Blair. I've seen this one come up a few times, people talking about, you know, SJM books, and if you liked those books, or maybe if you didn't like those books, like, you really need to give this one a shot. Like, I've just heard people say, like, this one doesn't get enough love, like as much love as it should, and I was like, you know, I would like to give it a shot. Yeah, I know there's fae involved in this one too, which, you know, I'm always down to read a fantasy book where someone's an assassin and there are fae involved. Like, that sounds great. I don't go into books with a ton of information. I don't need a ton of information to decide whether or not they pass the vibe check. And then, just because I can, I will show off the other thing we snagged when we were downtown, and that is this 4-pack of craft cocktails. You can see this is the green tea party. This is from a local woman-owned distillery called 10th Ward Distilling Company. I happen to know and love, she's a dear friend, the owner. I knew her before she was a distiller, which is just so cool to say, but she makes these really amazing canned cocktails, and she actually has a club that you can join. Just every month you get another unique 4-pack of them. So I'll put the information in here, because who knows, like, maybe you'll see this in the future and decide, I want that, because they can ship to a decent number of places. We're in Maryland, if that means anything. But yeah, this one sounds really good. It's seasonal liqueur, green tea, lemongrass, lemon, and palm sugar in a cocktail. Like, yeah, that sounds so good. All right, my arm's starting to get tired because I was doing this with, like I said, without my tripod. I'm gonna go put all this down and put my shoes on, because in a few minutes we're gonna go out to dinner with my parents. You know, when you're a kid, like, you do not expect to, like, want to hang out with your parents as much as, I don't know, Rob and I like to hang out with our parents. You know, nobody tells you about that. And I'm guessing it's not the same for everybody, but yeah, the older we get, the more just like, they're cool people to hang out with, and they still get to be our parents, which is just, you know, a cool thing to experience. But yeah, when you're a teenager, you're like, no, I don't ever want to hang out with my parents. And here we are deciding we're going to go out to dinner and texting my mom, be like, you guys want to come too? It's a nice thing. And we feel really lucky that we have, on both sides, good relationships with our parents. So we're going to a new restaurant that we've never been to before. I think it's called Firebirds. Somebody gave us some gift certificates and we've been sitting on them for far too long. So we figured, why not? Tonight's the night. So I'll let you know how that goes. But I'm 2 holiday books down. The goal is to read 2 more. We'll see what happens, but I'll probably start another one of those tonight. And then I am planning, because we don't have anything else to do tomorrow until the evening time we have plans. There's just going to be different reading sprints of the different books I'm trying to get through. And Swordcatcher will definitely be included in some of those sprints. Final thoughts for this weekly vlog is I did read 3 out of 4 of my holiday books that I wanted to read. So I plan on starting the last one of those very soon so I can get that wrapped up. Just have to think of a good drink recipe. I'm still waiting for inspiration to strike. The other 3 books that I read, I was able to, make a little drinky drink and, kind of pair them together, which was super fun. And then I did read some more of Swordcatcher. I'm at chapter 9, page 223. And I'm really liking it. I want to keep reading it. I want to see where this is going. But remember how I said, I was 100 pages in and, not that much had happened? I'm trying to, think about it. Stuff has happened. Things are happening. But there's still not that much has happened. I don't really know how to explain it. But Cassandra Clare she's got me hooked. I'm really enjoying the 3 main characters. I've gotten to the point where all 3 of them have finally had a complete crossover in their storyline. So they have all interacted together for the first time. So we'll see what happens with that, because they do have a lingering connection that there's a person in there that kind of connects the 2 main characters and the other, 2 of the main characters and then the other main character, who are both very separate in their circles. But there is a person that there was a reasonable, plausible way for them to come together for a certain thing. I don't want to tell you. I want you to read this book. And if I do recall correctly, I think this is going to be a series. So it makes sense to me that, a lot of this is just making us fall in love with this world and these characters and this story. So I'm very intrigued. I have no idea where this is going, though I feel like maybe I've gotten one little hint as to at least a point of tension that's going to come up and, add some depth to the story. But I really don't have an idea where it's going, and I'm okay with that with this book. For whatever reason, it's doing it for me. So I'm really glad I picked this up. I will continue to read this moving forward. And yeah, as you saw, I snuck a little clip in there that my husband so sweetly captured of me singing karaoke last night at that pajama brewery party we went to. I went into the evening thinking that I wasn't going to do it, but I really can't pass up. I really can't pass up an opportunity for karaoke, and it was a fun crowd, and everyone was nice. Yeah, I later sang some Ace of Base. I sang The Sign. That's my go-to, but I didn't know how the crowd would feel about that, so I chose another classic. If you don't know, the song I was singing in the clip was Hold On by Wilson Phillips. Yeah, you know, it's a classic. That one's a classic. But then people started singing other things where I was like, I think they can handle Ace of Base too. Excuse me. And if you can't hear it, I am a little under the weather, but that's okay. It's okay. We're getting past it. It's not getting any worse. So, you know, we're just going to keep taking our vitamins, eating our fruits and vegetables, getting lots of rest, drinking lots of water. And hopefully it's just a cold and it will pass soon. But I think that about wraps up this week. Yeah, you can keep an eye out for my festive reading vlog in a couple days so you can hear more about those fun reads. I will say, of the 3 that I've read so far, the Christmas Orphans Club really hit me in the feels. I think I am the perfect age. You could probably be even a little bit younger than me, but I think there is a perfect age group for that book. That's all I'll say. But I really enjoyed that one. I enjoyed the other 2, both very sweet, but that one, I read it in a day. Let's just put it that way. Like, that's all I had to do yesterday. And I'm glad I did it. So that being said, I hope you are having a wonderful day. I hope you have had a great week, and I will see you next time.